I'm 50 years old, and there's a bunch of subjects that I feel like I've had a lot of opportunity to gain experience. I made a lot of jumps relative to most people who don't skydive. I made 2,300 jumps in, a decade of skydiving, and I was in that industry for a long time and met a lot of people. I was in the industry I had a retail store, I had a mail order business, and I produced some training films in skydiving, and I even published a book, Intermediate Skydiving, with the help of a lot of great experts behind it. I look back at those projects and say, I made those projects for myself. I wanted to produce training films that would help my safety and enjoyment of the sport. I got involved in the Thai boxing industry, which is the traditional sport of Thailand, Muay Thai. I fought competitively, made about 10 fights, had a good career, short career as an amateur fighter, won 8 of my 10 fights, or is it 7 of 9 fights? I don't remember. Was really inside that industry as well, too. And I could talk about, blocking a low kick, not very useful for the mainstream. The industry that is most fascinating to me is the industry of wellness. And the food industry is obviously one of the first and most powerful link into people's wellness, because the source of most of our problems is coming through what we consume in through our mouths. And my regret is that earlier in life, I didn't go to school and get 6 years of training. I don't have a lot of diplomas and degrees that I could wave around and scream, look at me. I have credibility because I have a plaque on the wall. But I'm a consumer. I'm a consumer of the product. I live the product of health. I eat a very clean diet. I have for a long time. And I've had some great mentors, and founding Juice Press in 2010 and being very involved in what I consider to be one of the pioneering industry, the pioneering food companies in the U.S., pioneering in so much that we set out, we had a lot of obstacles. Our price point on the product was very high. We were a vegan company, which means we were alienating ourselves from people that do not have that lifestyle. We started off as a raw food kitchen for convenience because we didn't have venting and we weren't able to cook stuff. And of course, another obstacle is we opened in New York City, which is very unforgiving to a business. And the competitive landscape was very fierce at that time. So it was a really great mindful practice in retail food and beverage for me to go after freshness, USDA organic, plant-based foods that are difficult to disguise quality and taste. A smoothie is very easy to make bad. So is a juice. And we have amazing products, thanks to a lot of people, a great network that we've had from the very beginning, from how we innovate to how we produce on a larger scale now. It's really a fascinating story. I want to share it more with the public here in a small format. I'm sure that there won't be a lot of followers or viewers for these types of videos. The things that I'm most passionate about when I talk about nutrition are the things that I could not really get too involved in Juice Press because I didn't have that opportunity, which is when I saw people suffering with food addictions, whether they had some type of disease or just they didn't feel great about themselves and it was linked to how they felt about their body, I really started to research, learn, read, observe, and use myself as an experiment to understand the emotional and the psychological components behind food. Human beings are instinctual creatures. Other animals, what did I just say? Let's delete that.
Say
I got it
human,
backwards.
right.
Sorry. Cut that out. Human beings are cerebral creatures. We are designed to think, imagine, design, create, explore. We're the only creatures that really have that. Most creatures on the planet are instinctual. They follow instinct. They won't eat the way we do because of that. It is instinctual to not poison yourself as a creature. It goes against the survival mechanism. Human beings make a different choice because we're cerebral creatures and we can think and we can reason, which means we can make mistakes. And we can also be convinced of things that aren't true. In the modern world, it's not the West anymore. It's also the East. It's the Mideast, the Far East, wherever, the Near East. All cultures have been confronted by this demon called processed food. And the source of this demon is the hell of giant corporations who make money by selling garbage. It's that simple. There's nothing positive about it. There's no bright way to look at it. It isn't, well, at least they're giving some calories. No, it's garbage. It's garbage food. And its sole purpose is to get people addicted to that food so they make another purchase. It is corrupt, it is evil, and it has caused so much destruction on this planet. It has harmed so many people's lives and their health and their happiness. And it's spoken about, but it's not spoken loudly enough. I am not a prophet. I don't have the face, the looks, the money, none of it, to be the leader of a movement. I could perhaps motivate the next leader to do what has to be done. We have to talk about this problem, that corporations, companies, which are run by people, are allowed to sell sickening foods. It's a system, and we are products of it, especially if we live in big cities. Cities, by themselves, by their nature, are a specific type of machine that need a certain type of fuel. And the fuel of a city is very rarely wholesome, expensive foods that are hard to grow or hard to catch or hard to turn into something yummy. What works great in a city is something that's packaged nicely with a pretty label, with exciting words, with highly stimulating ingredients that make you feel like Superman, like a Red Bull, or like a warrior. It's nonsense. It's not making things better. If a lot of these things were not available to you, you would not actually go out and find them. You would have to sit with yourself, and you'd have to find another way to make yourself feel better. It would not be through those corrupting foods. But the reality is all these foods are very ubiquitous, they're very cheap, and they're advertised to you and streamed to your eyeballs constantly. So when you're not making your best decisions, you reach for those foods, and there begins the perversion of the tongue, and it's almost impossible to jump free from that loop. It takes a lot of character to break free from that madness. Or it takes something terrible happening to you, like you're told you have an illness. That's a time when someone says, oh, I better get my shit together and I got to stop smoking. I got to stop drinking. Maybe I should get some sleep. Maybe I should learn how to take a crap better, whatever it is. So hopefully you never get to that place. Hopefully you are a high bottom drunk, meaning you don't have to go all the way to the gutter and shit and piss in your pants and be scooped up by an ambulance for you to say, oh, this is a problem. So my message is really clear here in this little episode. Processed food is a scourge, a curse, and a plague of mankind, and it has to be discussed by bigger and better people than me. Let's wake up. Follow my videos, like my videos, subscribe to my videos, give me some love. I don't know why I need it, but they're telling me I need that, so give me some of that. It's free. Thank you.